Hello, and welcome to 5 Minute Math. Today we are looking at 3.4a readiness practice. This is solving addition and subtraction problems, the intermediate version. If you are interested in the proficient or the advanced versions of this readiness practice resource for 3.4a, or for the readiness practice resources for any other standard, you can do so by using the link in the video description. So first we have a problem here with a school carnival. So we've got 425 tickets sold in the morning, 387 tickets sold in the afternoon, and then of 150 tickets for the dunk tank, how many tickets were sold for other games? Well, we've got a few things working here. Let's visually represent this, okay? So I'm going to say that I've got 425 tickets sold in the morning. So 425, and I'm just going to write morning right here. And then I've got 387, excuse me, and that's the afternoon. Now, what I'm trying to figure out is I've got a certain amount of tickets sold for the dunk tank. How many tickets were sold for other games? Well, this right here is going to be my total. I don't know what that is yet, but that's going to tell me how many total tickets there were. Once I figure out how many total tickets there were, I could start thinking about this, right? So I've got 150 tickets for the dunk tank. So really, what I'm questioning is how much for the other. That's really what I'm looking for. So it looks like I need to do a few things. First, I need to find this total for my morning and afternoon. So 425 plus 387. So let's go ahead and add that using the standard algorithm. That's going to be 12, that's 10, 11. So that's 812. So let's erase this. And let's put 812. That's my total number of tickets that were sold. So now my 812 consists of, that's my total, or my whole, I've got two parts. I've got the 150 for the dunk tank, and then I've got the unknown for the other. So that's a part-whole relationship. So now what I can do is I can subtract that 150 from my 812. And so if I use a standard algorithm, 2 minus 0 is 2. I do need to regroup here. I need to take 100, leaving 700s, and I need to take that into 10 tens. So now my 110 turns into 11 tens. 11 tens minus 5 tens is 6 tens. And then 700s minus 100 is 600s. So I've got 662, and so that is going to be my answer, and I can actually replace this down here, and I can say 662. So let's go ahead and just write a statement to make sure that we've made it very clear. We can say 662 tickets were sold for other games. We want to just make sure we are being very clear about what we are solving for. We've answered the correct question. And in this case, we're looking for how many tickets were sold for other games? 662. Let's look at our second problem here. We have a bakery selling cupcakes. So they had 500 cupcakes at the beginning of the weekend, and then they sold Saturday, they sold Sunday. How many cupcakes were left at the end of the weekend? All right, we're going to draw another strip diagram because those are really the best way to visualize these problems to figure out whether we need to add, subtract, or maybe both. So if they had 500 cupcakes at the beginning of the weekend, so this right here is actually going to give us our total. And so when we are given the total, that changes the problem because sometimes we're given two parts. We need to find the whole or the total. Sometimes they give us the total. So let's do this. Let's draw a strip diagram like this. And I'm going to say that I've got my 500 right up here. So at the beginning of the weekend, I had 500 cupcakes. So what happened? Well, I sold 275 on Saturday. I sold 189 on Sunday. So my question is, how many cupcakes are left at the end of the weekend? That's this unknown right here. And these are my leftovers. Okay, so what I need to do, I've got two different ways to do this, and I'll do it both ways to show you that it works. All right, first, most of you will most likely add the 275 and the 189. That works. So let's use standard algorithm. 5 and 9 is 14. And that 7 and 8 is 15. Add that 1 is 16. So I've got 464. Now that 464 is simply that subtotal of Saturday and Sunday. Now I need to subtract that 464 from the 500. So we are definitely going to need to regroup on this one. So I need to break apart 100, leaving 4 left, and that gets me 10 tens. I actually need to take one of my 10s, leaving 9, break it up into 10 ones. Now I'm good to go. 10 minus 4 is 6. 9 tens minus 6 tens is going to get me 3 tens, and I've got 4 hundreds minus 4 hundreds gets me 0 hundreds. So it looks like I'm going to have 36 left. And so what I could do here is I can actually replace this, and I can say I've got 36 left. And then I could say the bakery had 36 cupcakes left. Now, I mentioned there are a few different ways to solve this. You don't have to necessarily do it like that. Some of you, and I'll do that in a different color so we can kind of see the difference here. What if I did this in, let's make this red. You actually could just subtract both of these numbers from 500. You would have to end up doing two different subtractions. So 500, you could subtract that 275 first. So let's regroup. So I have to take 100, leaving 4. That gets me 10 tens. Out of the 10 tens, I'm going to take one of the 10s, leaving 9, break it up into 10 ones. Now I can subtract 10 minus 5 is 5. 9 tens minus 7 tens is 2 tens, and 4 hundreds minus 2 hundreds is 2 hundreds. Now I've got 225 left. All I did was subtract my 275 from Saturday from the 500 I began with. I also sold 189 on Wednesday. So watch, I can just take 189 and I could subtract that from what's left. So I need to regroup here. Take away a 10, leaving 1, so now I've got 15 ones, that's 6. Can't take 8 tens from 1 10, so I need to take 100, leaving 1. Now I've got 11 tens. 11 tens minus 8 tens is 3 tens, and 1 minus 100 is 0. Take a look at what I have here. It's 36. They both equal each other. Just two different ways to get to that same answer. They all equal that 36 cupcakes left. Our third problem is looking at a school library. So they had 725 books. So hopefully we see that immediately is our total. They received a donation of 185 books. If 120 books were checked out, how many books were now in the library? Okay, so I'm going to start with my 725. And it looks like that might be my total. But actually, I need to increase my total because look, they received a donation of 185. So I'm going to add on to my strip diagram. I've got 185 more, and then 120 were checked out. So when 120 are checked out, that means I need to take away 120. Well, first off, how much do I have right here? That's my question. What is my new total? I started with 725. If I get a donation of 185, let's add those two and see what's going to happen. All right, so that's going to be 10. That's 10. That's 11. That's 910. So I could say after my donation of 185 books, I've got 910 books. Now, rather than making one whole strip diagram, sometimes we like to draw two different strip diagrams. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw a little arrow saying I'm going to take my 910 and I'm going to use that as my new total because that's how many books I have. I'm going to fuse them into just a new total of 910. But now what I want to do is I want to break it up into two parts here because 120 are checked out. And then my question is, how many books are left? So if we see it like this, we would say, all right, well, I need to take my 910, and then let's take away my 120. So I don't need to regroup in the ones place, but I do need to regroup. So I can subtract in the tens place, that's going to be 9. So that's 790. So I can say 790 books are left. So I started with 725. I added 185, and then I subtracted 120. So let's go ahead and just write that in a statement. We would say 790 library books are left. So if you are interested in looking at the 3.4a readiness practice for the proficient or the advanced versions, or for the readiness practice for any other standard, you can do so by using the link in the video description.